Hey, yo, Dave. Son, what the fuck was that? Spend $1.99, get one. That's some new shit. Okay. If you guys want to watch Black Widow and Shang-Chi over the holiday, you can pay $1.99 for some shit. All right, what trouble are we looking to jump into today? Let's see. Okay, let's pause this real quick. All right, guys, I apologize. So one of the reasons why I haven't started a stream today is because I've been trying to download Battlefield 2042, and that's taken a while. So it's my whatchamacall has been acting really shit today. So I'm not sure how this is gonna turn out. So we'll see how it goes. DZ. I've been having fucking issues with this all goddamn day. I don't know what the hell's going on with it either. Let's see what happens if I switch over to something else. What? Yeah, man, I'm playing the Avenger game. I know you said you played it, you bought it, and you thought it was dead, but I actually enjoy that game a lot in terms of accessibility for the Spider-Man stuff that's coming out. I wanted to jump back into it, and since I hadn't played it on PS5 and only PC, I was like, yo, I gotta play this shit. So it's a lot more fun on a console than it is on the PC. All right, there we go. New summon companion mode. I want to know if any of you guys have been having problems and issues lately with the ping on this damn game, by the way. Leave a comment down below if you have, because something's fucking off with this ping. Like, I'll typically still be between like 50 and 150 millisecond ping, and still somehow end up in a fucking world of hurt in terms of like playing the game. Like you see, like this, I'm at 50 millisecond ping right now, and as far as I'm aware, there's a server in Virginia, but for some odd reason or another, still not getting good ping here. All right, let's see. What trouble are we gonna jump into? Woohoo! What are we getting from this Align box? Let's see. Let's head over to take care of some inventory stuff and then jump inside this blitz real quick. One, two, three, four. Running low on inventory space. How the fuck am I always low on inventory space? I can never understand how I'm always fucking low on inventory space. It just doesn't make sense. All right, let's jump into blitz real quick. Do we need anybody else? Not really.
The doctor is in. A simple spell should do.
Are you fucking serious? $10K power at level 1?
Doctor is in.
That's ridiculous, dude. So you're telling me that so I can get 500K power? Was this a new stream that they put out, or was it the same one from previous? That's a lot. That at those levels, that's wailing on a, that's, man. Shit, now I gotta look this up to see this. Where did you see that one at, Godslave? Like, did you actually see? Was it a new stream or was it the old stream and we just missed something?
Simple spell should do.
As I'm looking through this shit, I oh, the old stream from the original, the when they originally introduced it. Okay, let me pull that shit up real quick. You would think they would want their channel to pull up first, and they would be looking at optimizing it, but no, no, no.
Doctor is here. A simple spell should do.
I see. Not to cause any drama, but I'm laughing because the oh, 10K was for level 1, dude. I thought it was a 6-star that he had. Now I got to see this for truth, because I thought it was a 6-star that he had at, and it was given 10K power when he had unequipped it. If it's literally 10K at level 1, that's a little fucking bonkers. If you're talking about each companion is going to give us basically 500K, this is going to be bad for the game. And especially the moment that you hear players see this. It's funny, guy. I was watching your stream earlier for your PvP all day. That was one of the reasons why I didn't start streaming at all this morning too, because I was like, fuck it, God slaves are rolling through PvP. People are gonna want to see his ass just crack on. Really, three companion shards? That's all you're gonna give me? Oh, 6-star, but only level 1. Okay. Meaning he didn't have it fully leveled up at like level, what is it? I think they can go up to like level 60. I know they put out a new companion guide on, let me see if I can pull this shit up. So I saw that they put up this companion guide, this new companion guide, which I guess was somewhat helpful. Like basically, you know, they had that companion guide and they basically said what each character was giving, but I was like, that would have been nice had you put that shit out like when you released it, so that way players knew. Why wait all this time? When you reach level 60, I did notice, if I'm being honest, like if I pulled up my companion, I think we can pull it up while I'm in here. I've got her at level 30, and I did notice that I was receiving a really nice boost from her. Man, I can't enhance the skill, so why are you telling me that? I did notice that I was receiving a really nice boost from her mostly. So, and I did notice that they were, it was funny because as I was acquiring the characters and started leveling some of them up to 3-star, I was like, wait a minute, this is like a 2,000, 3,000 boost. But I didn't want to talk on it because I didn't have a way to test it out. Where's your, I haven't seen your account, God. Like, I need to join on yours. Have you done a video yet about your companions and what level you have them at? I'm laughing my ass off right now. So you have all 4 maxed out at 6-star. Level 60 is 500k power, 20,000 in attack, and 20,000 HP. What the fuck? That's ridiculous. See, this is why I gotta get a Discord, because it'd be good to chat with like you and King. Like, that's ridiculous. So we're talking about a 20,000 boost in attack and a 20,000 in HP per each character at 6-star. The gap that's gonna create is, wow, 500,000 power for having all 4 maxed out at 6 stars. That's ridiculous. So, man, that's, now I'm trying to I want to see this shit, because I mean, I know you would know, Godslave. You know, that's. I think having those power levels, if players had saw those power levels just to begin with, I think there would have been a mass exodus on this game, because just that's insane. I don't even know how to calculate that in my head right now, but if you were to look at that, basically any whale sitting at the top, which there have been some new whales, some new whale alliances popping up inside our ours, that'd be ridiculous. 500k power, that's more than so you effectively, if you got 6 companions going, you could effectively hit 2 million plus right now. If you don't mind me asking, God, like, if you don't mind me asking, I don't want you, if you don't feel comfortable putting your business out there, I know you do the streaming and stuff like that, but how much have you spent on your companions so far? And the only reason why I ask, you know, is because I know that you originally made a video specifically talking about companions and the monetary investment that was going to go there, so I knew you were prepped for that. Yeah, the nano red stars, you could do a whole lot easier than that, because especially if you just do it non-regionals, far simpler to do non-regional nano red stars. And now you're talking about, wow, so the companions are worth more at this point than your companions are basically worth more than your individual gear pieces as well. Because if you effectively look at it in terms of like a 20,000 the additional 20,000 HP that those characters are bringing, that effectively is going to help out a character like Captain America, you know, become even greater tank. You're not going to be able to take down people's HP levels at that level. So those companions then essentially become single greater factors in the game than even your costumes or your battle badges. That's effectively what they did with that. Then if that pans out, I'm still trying to find this video. I'm laughing, not to cause any drama or anything, but I'm laughing. What's up, Larry? I'm laughing because the first video that pulls up for Marvel, like, I'm not even joking, the first 2 videos that pull up for Marvel Future Revolution, if you type in that inside Google, is DM's video about quitting, but then right below that one is DM's video about Marvel Future Revolution and getting the Disney Plus for free. You spent 2,200, got all commons 6 stars, all rares to 5-star, and special companions 4 to 5-star. Cersei almost 6. Gosh damn. Yo, Godslave, me and you need to hook up. I want to hook up with King, and I really want to do like a streamer content chat so we could all talk about the game, because people are under they're under this weird idea that people aren't still, you know, creating content on the game, and that, I know that's far from the truth. So I would like to do something with all of us, so that way we can all just like chat and play the game together or something like that one day soon. I do have Discord. I don't have a Discord channel, but I do have Discord. Let me pull it up real quick. I'm pulling it up right now. 6 If you got 60, yeah, that he wailed on companions. How much did he wail on companions? That's what I would like to know. He's 1.9 million with 16. Get the fuck out of here. 60-0 in dimension duels. That would be undefeated. Let me see. All right. I got Discord open right now. Which is your name? Godslave in Discord? Godslave77 in Discord? because I gotta see this shit. I'm more interested in that than than actually rummaging through playing the game. I really want to see that shit right now. A captain. He's a Captain America, and he's 60-0 dimension duels. Can I get the channel? Let me hold on one second. I'll send you. Let me see. Hold on. Let me I'm gonna. Let me post what my my name is inside the what you call it. Can you post your channel in the chat so that way I can like the Discord link so that way I can just go to it? What the fuck? Another Jesus Christ, this game just hates me for fucking Blitz. 60-0 in dimension duels. That is ridiculous. Like, and think about that. Like, I hate to say this, but like, I like Captain America, but he's definitely on the bottom tier of dimension duels. Like, I would even say Star-Lord is a better character to use in dimension duels than Captain America, and he's literally got, that's fucking insane. So he literally turned. I would love to see what his numbers are inside the invasion. God Slave 7. All right, hold on one second. I'm gonna copy that and add you. Send you a friend request right now. Copy. That's your channel, or is that just your username? That's when you talk about that and you say that a cat main is sitting at 1.9 million right now. You got to think about how ridiculous that is. A cap main is sitting at 1.9 mil and is 60-0. We are literally talking about the character that is probably the single worst character in the game in terms of, like, if you ultimately really had to rank that character, Captain America, in the game, especially for PvP modes, he's not high on that list. Like, he's not high on that list at all. Why is it not finding you? Bro, it's so fucking hard for me. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Dave. Like, being active on Discord, I agree with you. It is 100%. I need to be more active on there. It's just so fucking hard. Why is it not finding you, Godslave? So if he's got 8,000 Omega points, we already know what that is. Like, so we could do the math on that one alone. Like, I mean, outside of, you know, if we adjust it for maybe 200 to 500, you know. He has a YouTube channel where he's wailing. What's his YouTube channel name? 8,000 times 150. Bro, I don't even. I don't even want to imagine the amount of money he has spent at 8,000 Omega points. To have 8,000 Omega points is that's ridiculous, man. 8,000 Omega points is a lot of fucking money. That is a lot of money having spent. That is a lot of money. Why am I not? This shit is the weirdest. I'm trying to pull you up right now, Godslave, but for some reason it's not finding you. Cap is probably the worst character you could play in Dimension Duels. Like, I don't think there's I really don't believe there's a character that's worse in Dimension Duels. You could probably make a Captain America work inside of you could make a Cap work inside Invasion or other modes like that. Yeah, Alakazam, I hope that they see those videos. It's highly unlikely. The worst part about making those videos for me, Cap G, that's his name on YouTube. Let me see if I can find him. Oh, you mean Cap G for your name? See if you can if you don't mind, see if you can copy mine and see if you can add me. For some reason it's not finding you, even with a Cap G inside there. Let me see. Adding a friend, and I got your name inside here. Control V. Paste. Godslave. Send friend request. Oh, okay, there you go. It sent the friend request to you now. Alright, cool. I sent you the friend request. Alright, let me know if you see it. I'm gonna join your chat. So Alakazam, the bad part about making those Doctor Strange videos, what's up Muhammad, is that when you actually dig deep on these characters and you like talking about something like what Godslave just brought up about, you know, companions, and you tie that into characters, and then you tie it back into Danny Koo's chilling with Danny Koo stream that he did, and you sit there and you look at the players, you know, the characters or the people, the development team behind it, you get this real big fundamental understanding that they don't know what the hell they're doing. It's like they're just shooting from the hip and they're developing content, and that's it. And like they're just putting the shit out there, and you're basically the test dummy. That's awful, because if they introduce the companion system like Godslave is saying, and you can basically hit 500,000 freaking power from having companions equipped, that's astronomical power gaps that are going to exist. Never mind, you know, whales, take out whales versus free to play in that conversation, and just think about it in terms of players that are coming into the game and players that have been around in the game for a while. So like you're going to create a power differential in the game across the span of time that players are never going to be able to catch up with, because it's already going to take a free-to-play player probably, like, I don't know, Godslave, what do you think? As a free-to-play player, it's probably going to take you maybe 9 months to a year in order to probably get 4 eternal characters, or 4 characters in general, up to 6 stars. So if Godslave is saying that he spent maybe $2,200 in order to get just his characters up to between 4 and 5 star, and he has 4 companion characters, and Godslave spends money on the game, and he's still probably one of the top ranked players in the game, especially as Iron Man. There's no way a free-to-play player is going to be able to keep up with that and catch up with that. It's going to take you a lot of time for there. Yeah, I got another. I have 3 videos that I want to publish this week, specifically talking about, because everybody seems to have questions about Doctor Strange and the way that he plays in the varying builds, whether you have him as like an illusion magic class, an illusion magic class, the support build, the attack focus build, and then the utility build. And talking about I've got videos looking at both of those. Basically, is the Touch of Ashanti build, which is his support build. Then you have the illusion magic class build, which is supposed to be his crowd control, and then the mystic art build. So I have a video coming out with that, so that way you can specifically see the skills that are required for each of those builds and how they affect. To be perfectly honest, it really is sad, because I've even noticed that other Doctor Stranges have been jumping in modes like Dark Zone, for instance. If I'm playing Dark Zone with the Alliance now, I completely switched to my Touch of Ashanti build, because overall, I'm not concerned about the points, because even though I'm finishing in the top 7, 8 of my alliance, hitting the point caps inside there is really, really difficult. So it doesn't really help me in terms of like pushing for that. All I really care about is getting the companion skill cards and things like that, and then the Omega cards from there. So it's just easier for me to just be in touch with Ashanti, boost up cooldown decreases for the alliance in general, and hit those defense pierce numbers. The crowd control really never comes into play, so it makes the illusion magic class really poor, because let's be honest, you kind of rifle through the ads in this game fairly easily, and without a mode where the ads are like coming at you in waves similar to Spec Ops, Xanderth, and Sakaar missions where it's in an arena, you really don't have the ability to utilize crowd control skills like the illusion magic class has to offer for you. And then, like you said, you end up spending so little time inside those areas that it really doesn't pay dividends at all for you. So just really, really fucking weird how they built the character, because the characters, like Godslaves pointed out, you know, you would legitimately have to look at basically hitting out on big whale spending. And I made this point in the video, guys, that if you were going to whale out in the game, then any character is viable. I mean, especially if I got to see this character, Captain America 60-0 in dimension duels, and that's mostly because you have somebody whaling out. Every character is going to be viable in terms of whaling out, especially if it's going to be determined by, you know, by power gaps like that. Any character is going to be viable, but where they sit for the majority of players, Jesus Christ, I cannot for the life of me imagine. I did not think that they were going to go that hard on those companions to make them that. But I've got those 3 videos coming out. Like, I've got one of them posted right in the drafts right now, basically being uploaded for for Doc Strange, to kind of show you guys some of the build stuff. I'll play through some of the Spec Ops right here, which I really don't care about, and I'll show you some of that stuff on there. And if you guys have questions about Doctor Strange while I'm on the stream, just go ahead and ask the questions, and I'll pull up whatever you guys need to see, and that way I can show you exactly what it is that you have questions about, or give you my best answers on Doctor Strange as possible. What the like, gotta be extremely lucky. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think luck is even going to help you in that regard. Like, you're talking about luck on hold of I see you right now. Let me join your shit real quick. Okay. All right, there we go. This is gonna be fucking nuts. I gotta see this shit.
This will all be over soon.
So what's his name? Wolfman? I've never even heard of this dude.
What a curious place. The doctor is here.
This is gonna be nuts to watch this shit. Oh, so you're talking about I know what you're talking about. You're 7S. You're talking about the Eldritch Sword skill. It's the first skill that basically unlock, and it does the knockback and then gives you 50 gives you what you call it, and gives you 50% HP recovery decrease for 7 seconds, and then the dimensional collapse skill, for which does bleed damage and gives you decreased HP recovery. I'll pull those up in a second. As soon as this Spec Ops is done, I'll pull those up. I might just like let the shit fail. I'll feel bad if I let. Oh, we're almost dead anyways. Never mind. We only need one player to die, so this shit wasn't gonna succeed anyways. Cool. I'll pull that up so you can see what it is, 7S, and give you some answers. I'm watching this goddamn video of this goddamn Captain America just go bonkers right now. This shit is crazy. This is nuts. Like, nobody's even touching him. Like, this is... Wow. Like, I don't think his power levels dropped below 80% yet. This is... Who's he fighting right now? So he's got some players from Spider Pigs in here. You guys can see, like, I've been autoing Spec Ops right now. That'll give you an idea of how much people care about Spec Ops. Tay Wiz said it was like 8,000 to 9,000 Omega points is a lot. Like, you spent 2,200, and how many Omega points did you have from that lot? Like, ain't no way in the world. Like, 8,000 Omega points, every 100 Omega points is $150. Like, I've sussed that out and sorted that out myself. That's a lot of fucking money he spent in this game. Those are some ridiculous numbers. Like, kind of hard for me to imagine 8,000 and 9,000 Omega points. He is tearing through these fucking characters. I mean, some of the characters he's in here fighting against, I'm like, I don't really recognize them in terms of, like, you know, their power rankings, but this is nuts. Wow. I want to pull this video up so that way you guys can see this shit, because this is wild and crazy to see a character rip through the way he is. The funny part about it too is that looking at it, 20,000 since launch. Jesus, I gotta imagine he spent more than 20,000. Like, gotta be more than 20,000. You don't think so? Like, I have like about 2,000 Omega points, and I know I didn't spend even close to that. Well, I had 2,000 Omega points. What up, Hef? Damn, I want this goddamn Spec Ops to be over. This dog water mode. I hate this. I could probably be over quicker if I just fucking focused and got it done, but I just don't care. And the funny part is, this is the one mode that you probably should care about, guys, in terms of making sure that you play at the very least, and that you want to try to rank up, because this is the one mode where you could actually get rewarded the one thing you need, which is regional gear as a prize. So in that regard, it is the best mode for you to play overall, if I'm being perfectly honest. But it's just not a fun mode, so it just makes it hard to stay engaged in this mode when you go in there. All right, let's see this shit. I want to pull this. I'm gonna pull this up so that way we can talk about what 7S is talking about with his 2 debuff skills, and I'll point out to you guys some problems with utilizing those skills in general. This dude is tearing this shit up. Holy crap, he is killing this shit. So the 2 skills that 7S, especially if you had all 6 companions at 6 and all 6. Oh shit, bro, I don't have a single 6-star core. So if he had 6-star cores, yeah. I don't like the oppressed citizen day. I don't know what that means, Hef. What does that mean? So looking at the skills that 7S is talking about, we basically got you've got dimensional collapse, which is decreasing your HP recovery by 50% and for 7 seconds, and is doing 530% damage, which is causing the bleed. And then on Eldritch Sword, you have this first skill, which is the antimatter sword, which is doing knockback and then decrease HP recovery by 50% for 7 seconds as well. Oh, dog water mode. Press Citizen Day, yeah. Bruh, I hate the fucking Citizen Day. God damn, I hate those days. Those days I feel like just skipping that shit completely. So so let's talk about those Eldritch Swords. The problem with using Eldritch Sword 7S, that for that one right there, where you're talking about using antimatter sword, is that you're giving up the bread and butter of what Doctor Strange, the only thing that he excels at right now, is literally, legitimately the Tal of Mandalas and Vishanti Assault. So utilizing Eldritch Sword is going to be really bad because this isn't going to really attack that many targets in the first place. So it's a good dimension dual kind of skill set, because this is going to be a one-on-one kind of skill. But using that over using your Tal Mandalas, you'll be giving up to, like, the one thing that Doctor Strange excels at is his range on attack, and that is provided by Vishanti Assault and Tal Mandalas. So to utilize Eldritch Sword, Antimatter Sword in here is kind of like worthless. Like, I wouldn't use this skill because you basically take the one good thing that he excels at, and it'd be bad. I wouldn't utilize that skill. That's why I wouldn't use that. And then when you get into mirror dimension lockdown, the bad thing about dimensional collapse and utilizing it is that you're relying on HP recovery, and at this point in the game, your dimension duels doesn't last that long. So I wouldn't use this inside dimension duels. It could be utilized inside of Omega War, and it'd be a good skill for you to use there, but that's the only place I would use this, outside of maybe like invasion mode or something like that. So I would totally not use Eldritch Sword, Antimatter Sword. You'd be wasting a skill by utilizing that skill. You'd be taking away from Doctor Strange's ability to do stuff. So I wouldn't use that. Yeah, it is bad you can't use skills from multiple trees at 100%. That's his strongest skill that he has inside the Eldritch Sword, and there's very little way that you can get around if you want to be dealing any kind of damage using Eldritch Sword or Book of Ashanti. And if you were just doing a specialty, support build, there'd be no reason to use Antimatter Sword anyways, because there's other skills and other classes that are better. So I wouldn't use that. What up, Finbar? Yo, this dude's video, like, this is insane to watch. So yeah, I hope that helps, 7S. I wouldn't use that skill though. I wouldn't use it. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you the build that I have I'm going to show you guys the skill builds in a second here. I'll show it to you guys, so it'll be an early jump. Just still watch the video when it comes out, but I want to show you guys this shit, and this is what I mean by. So I appreciate Godslave stopping by. Godslave's a content creator. Go over to his channel. Godslave is one of the top Iron Mans in the game, if not one of the top players in the game, and he's super helpful to the community. So if you guys get a chance, and if you're not following him already, go over and check this out. This is what I mean by when you try to find and mix and match class skills for yourself, right? Because you can see this Captain America, this is a guy that's got a lot of money invested inside it. I'm not going to hit on any whales for having money invested, but he's literally running around this map and just killing shit because of his investment inside there. You're making a podcast soon? That's awesome, dude. I've thought about doing a podcast, but the amount of time that would take for me to do that. But okay, so let's jump back into this Doc Strange stuff and talk about this, right? Currently, Doctor Strange, his bread and butter skills inside of this game is going to be Book of Ashanti and Eldritch Sword, Tal of Mandalas. So regardless of whether you're playing him in the Illusion build, the Touch of Ashanti build, or you're playing him in his Mystic Arts build where you want to do attack, crowd control, or support, drop that podcast link when you do inside my channel. I'll make sure that I promote it, Finbar. Two of his skills that you almost cannot get rid of is the Vishanti Assault and Tal of Mandalas. So I've got some videos that I'm going to post this weekend. I try not to post videos too much on the weekend simply because most people aren't going to watch it and the viewership numbers are pretty low over the weekend. But so look at this right here, right? So this is this would be my Touch of Ashanti build. So like if you were looking at basically making a support class build, these are some of the skills that you are going to want to use. So for instance, like 7S, if you were talking about like you completely wanted to go support, right, and you want to try the debuff skills to try, I wouldn't use Dimensional Collapse, right, over utilizing Mirror Dimension Shield Mirage, because here it's going to provide you a guard damage recovery, so you're going to have more viability with this skill in terms of being able to utilize it in terms of like, I would say like this is specifically like if you were playing raids and you were playing Dark Zone, so you were committed to PvE and you were committed to being the bard, is the basically the way I would knock this skill down. There's going to be more feasibility of you using this skill in terms of helping out your team and making sure that they could stay in the fight. The similar nature of this one is like using assist should give you more points. If they gave you more points and you were accumulating points based on it, then this Doctor Strange's builds right now would have viability. But this right here is going to help you out the most in terms of like, yeah, so like Dark Zone, for instance, like Laufey is a fucking beast. Like if you go inside Dark Zone, most players will like, you'll melt most of the freaking, you know, prime targets. But if you're like in Dark Zone, for instance, like you're fighting Laufey or you fight Dormammu or you're fighting any of those characters where you want players to be able to stay engaged on the target and not have to run away, so that way you can speed up the time in which the event is happening, the meltdown of targets. This would be the same inside Invasion. It'd be the same inside of Raid. It'd be the same inside Blitz. The skill that you're most likely going to want to use is going to be Doctor Strange Ultimate is trash. You're going to want to use Mirror Dimension Shield of Mirage. That's going to be the skill that's beneficial to you there the most. So you see why Dimensional Collapse wouldn't be the skill that you'd be using. It's just, as a Mystic Arts class skill, it's just not that powerful and not that utilizable, especially when you're talking about the stamina cost of 22. It's just, I wouldn't use it. I'd much rather use Touch of Ashanti, Mirror Dimension, and do that. I saw Finbar. I just said drop the link for your podcast. I'm gonna make sure that I promote that shit. So I would utilize that skill overall, right? But then when we go back up here, Elder Sword will be your only primary targeting attack inside here, so you'd be using that, right? And then when you look at like Book of Ashanti, so now you would give up Ashanti Assault to have Lesson of Wisdom. And so if you're inside Dark Zone, this is going to benefit your players. If you're inside the Invasion, this is going to benefit the players as well, because you're going to basically decrease the cooldown for their skills by 30%. This is going to be a great skill overall, so you want to swap this out, especially if you're inside of Dark Zone. So if you are committed to the PvE playstyle, you're committed to being the support character that's going to help out your alliance, this is going to be the build that you want to have. It's going to help out players overall in general. Now, if you look at the other skills that you would use besides this one, you would basically look at utilizing Soul Enhance, which is on the Master of the Mystic Arts, which is going to increase the defensive pierce of your characters, to basically be like, hey, look, like I want to increase the defense pierce. So like say like some players are like 3/4 of the way there, they're like halfway there. This is going to be the skill that you want to have, because coupling the defense pierce with the Mirror Dimension Shield of Mirage and coupling that then with Lesson of Wisdom, you're basically going to be able to rotate these skills. That's going to basically help them out the most. The big thing for me in terms of looking at this is, where do you then help out on cooldown, so that way you have more uptime on this. And the only way to do this is basically means that when you go to your cards, you want to increase the cooldown on your, go all out on cooldown on your cards, because you want to get your cooldown as high as possible, so that way you're not trying to augment it by having to use illusion magic class skills. So your only damage for you as a character would come from your Ring of Repulsion, which is doing 1663 damage, and your Tower of Mandalas, which is doing 1100% damage as well. Your Soul Sunderer, like I've said, there's skills that casting this fucking skill is worthless. Like, it is absolutely worthless. It's not going to generate you enough points, and it's not going to generate you anything. I wish you could actually switch out his ultimate skill because it's goddamn shitty. So 7S, if you were looking at it, this is what I would do. Now, I know a lot of people keep talking about utilizing astral projection, soul predator in order to get up your stamina. But here's the problem with that. There's not very many times inside the game where you're actually going to benefit from using astral projection, mostly because looking at this skill, I'm only going to get maybe 9-10% of this at most in terms of stamina recovery. This is really a dimension duels type skill where you're gonna utilize this for the iframe, not the skill effect. Like, it's weird. People seem to be thinking that this is going to really help out their stamina recovery in some way. It's not. It really isn't. The bonus that it offers in terms of recovering stamina here is way too little. This is a skill that needs a buff. I would probably say, like, if this gave you like a 25%, you know, stamina recovery, then for just hitting a single target, it would be good, and it would have more viability inside the game overall, being able to do some more damage. Like, this needs to do more damage, and it needs to have to recover stamina. The guard break on this is whatever. It's just trash. There's not a lot of other skills in here that I would suggest you roll out to, because going through some of the other skills in terms of being completely support, the major skills, the major buffs for Doctor Strange that he's going to help other players with are going to come from these three skills alone. So you have to have Book of Ashanti in order to help the cooldown, Mirror Dimension, Shield of Mirage in order to help players stay in the fight, especially like, you know, Black Widow, Spider-Man, Captain America. This is going to help them stay engaged, because basically if Captain America casts his Sentinel of Liberty skill, I believe it is, and which is going to give everybody a boost, then this one will help recover the gauge and help reduce the guard damage. And from what I understand, it does stack. I have to do more testing with it to see, but yeah. And then Soul Enhance, bread and butter. You're going to want to have Soul Enhance up, but this build does require you to invest heavily on your cooldown. So you're pretty much negating the fact that you're even going to play PvP, period. That would be your skill. And this one actually has good uptime as well, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's not bad uptime in terms of like your stamina management and your cooldown management, but it'll do good if you focus on, like, so inside your Omega cards, make sure that all of your Omega cards specifically focus on cooldown decrease. That's what you're basically looking at doing, is increasing the cooldown on your Omega cards. Have that across the board. And then your enhanced potential inside here, I would just ignore attack. Like, I would legitimately ignore attack and investing inside there. I would increase your HP so that way you stay alive, and go cooldown decrease, and I wouldn't even invest in defense. Basically, make sure you hit those cooldown decrease numbers first, and then hit the and then after that I would probably hit HP on those things, but ignore the attack, because if this is the route that you're going in terms of playing the characters as most effectiveness, this is where you're going to want to be at overall on the skills. The last thing that you want to pay attention to is going to be your specializations inside that build. So for your specializations inside here, there's going to be some of them that you don't necessarily need. Like, for instance, the max damage rate of your Mystic Arts class skills, you're not worried about it. Ignore this one completely. You'll also be able to ignore the Will of Destroyer, which will take away you having to worry about the negative cooldown decrease. This used to say negative 15%, and it was written in a weird way, and now they changed it so the wording basically says so it increases skill cooldown by 15%. So you don't need these two skills, which will open you up for other skills that you can use, right? There's no reason, I see no reason whatsoever to ever use this skill inside here. There's going to be no reason really for you to use this skill either, so it's going to open things up a lot, right? No reason to use this skill as well. So what you're really going to be looking at inside here is you're going to basically be looking at ad management for everybody else, so that way you have that. So I would probably go with Wind of Truth inside here. You definitely want to make sure that you have Hoggoth's Blessing equipped onto you, and then if you can get your cooldown maxed out, then you want to have Waves of Despair, so that way you can increase those damage numbers as much as possible as well. And then you can basically play around with what your last skills are going to be inside here. It's kind of weird in terms of like playing around, because you can see most of his skills are centered around that, but that's how I would basically play that class if you were absolutely looking at those. There's not a lot of debuffs that you're receiving, so decreasing the duration of them, I don't really see the benefit of it, but there you go. Yeah, his actions are way too slow, but I hope that helps you out, 7S. Like that should give you a base layer of basically how you should be looking at that character if you're going to do that. So like if you want to play it. So there is another build that you're basically going to be looking at inside here skill wise, and that's going to be his Illusion Magic class build. And this one is a little bit better in terms of crowd control management. The problem is there's not a lot of places in terms of crowd controlling. So I would basically, you're still using Circular Shackles. This is going to be a bread and butter skill in terms of Master of the Mystic Arts. So there are only two skills I find that to be viable inside this class, and that's going to be Circular Shackles or Soul Enhanced with Touch of Ashanti. So that's pretty much where you're at for that one. Now when you get inside the 7 Rings of Ragador, I'm using the Illusion Magic because it's going to help out with crowd control, but this is going to be your best skill overall inside there. And then instead of utilizing Gateway Launch, which is a bread and butter of Doctor Strange, you're going to use Portal Summoning or a Portal Bolt instead. Now it's going to look weird because you're like, oh, well, I'm giving up 2,039% damage from my Gateway Launch, which is stupid, right? Because you guys can already see like that skill is giving me as much attack damage as my fucking has given me as much attack damage as my ultimate skill is, right? But the reason why you're using this skill is because if you look at Gateway Summoning, Portal Bolt versus versus Gateway Launch, you can see that there's nearly roughly half cost on each of these, the cooldown and the stamina. And so you're basically going to be able to cast this twice as many times as you would be able to cast Gateway Launch, and you're basically getting 804. So it's basically 1700% versus 2039%, but you're getting to cast it more is basically the requirement. Now there is this question like Alakazam just brought up, right? So like Alakazam pointed out, the problem is with Doctor Strange's cast animations, right? So if you notice inside here, Doctor Strange is taking at least 2 more seconds in terms of casting the Portal Bolt than he is his Gateway Summoning Launch, meaning like I can cast the Portal Bolt right out in front of me, but I'm literally waiting all this time for it to actually land on targets at a distance. The only way to make this more effective is for you to literally get close to your target, right? So like if you got a Captain America on your team and he gives you that moment where he summons the shields around you, the protective layers, then you could basically use this skill to get close and they'll take damage while this is summoning, and then it pushes them out. But you're basically only utilizing this one, so that way you have the 3 summons, the 3 illusion effects on, and then you're basically going to use Vishanti Assault and Tower of Mandalas to do most of your damage. Now, what you're going to look at for that one in specializations is going to be a little bit different, right? Because I don't want the Hoggoth's Blessing, because I'm just going to basically try to stay at range, do as much damage as I possibly can. So I'm going to still stay with my force field, where I'm going to decrease the remaining cooldown of all my skills for the Illusion Magic class skill, right? When using an Illusion Magic class, because I have 3 of them equipped, so that's going to reduce the time on all of those. So basically what I want to do is lead with Tower of Mandalas and Vishanti Assault, and then follow up with my Illusion Magic class skill, so that way it brings down the time of Tower of Mandalas and Vishanti Assault. The other one that you're going to want to use is Time Manipulation, Reverberation, so that way I can basically having all of those classes equipped, 3 of them, is basically going to reduce the time by 25%, so that way my cooldown time is just going to be reduced overall. Then I get to use the Will of the Destroyer, so that way having the illusion magic class skill and the reduction in time from both of those is basically going to mitigate this 15% skill cooldown increase that you're getting. So essentially, if you're looking at it, you're getting a 25% overall from here, so minus that, so it's going to be about 10% from just having 3 illusion magic class skills equipped on just the illusion magic classes. And then this right here is basically going to help the uptime on those skills, so that way you're then getting an additional 25% cooldown on all skills overall. This number doesn't stay into account for like your cooldown time as well. And then lastly, use the Mystic Arts class skill damage skill. So this one, now in testing, I've seen that this one basically accounts for maybe like a, hard to say, but as like for me testing it, I've basically seen like it's a little bit lower than my Mystic Arts class skill, and mostly the problem is that it's very useful in the earlier stages of battles, the invasions and stuff like that, because I can really hit some high damage numbers and stuff like that in terms of getting out. But then once we get to the single target damage inside the area for the bosses, you're going to fall off at that point. So to me, it makes it less viable in terms of that. So it's like one of those things you're playing around with. But that's your build that you're basically going to look at, your alternatives, if you're not just going full bore Mystic Arts damage dealer. I am playing with a 4th build, which is a mixture of all of those, pretty much all 3 of them, where I, instead of using circular shackles, I'm going to use the soul enhance skill, so that way I'm still roughing that one out. And then instead of using any of these skills right here for 7 Rings of Ragador or Gateway Summoning, I'm basically going to rely on not having the Illusion Magics class skills equipped, so that way I can then roll into using Book of Ashanti, Lesson of Wisdom, and use 7 Rings of Ragador, the Ring of Repulsion, so that way I'm getting damage instead of from the Vishanti Assault, but utilizing just Tile Mandalas and Ring of Repulsion in order to deal my damage, while buffing myself with Massive the Mystic Arts, Soul Enhance, and the Lesson of Wisdom from the Touch of the Vishanti class skill. So I'm playing around with that, but this is all going to require me to switch out and just completely give up on PvP, and basically know that when I'm inside Omega War, I'm basically playing in a defensive posture to help out other players receive the damage. Which brings up the bad part that I brought up in the last video that I posted about Doctor Strange. Is that's essentially where we're sitting at with the character, right? Is that he is a support level character, because the damage that you're dealing overall is not as high as what some other players is. You really got to hit some lucky ass rolls on this character. Like if you look at my costumes on this character, I didn't get lucky like that, man. I am a mid-tier middling spender in this game. And so just in terms of getting nano fusions and stuff like that, like, yeah, if I was to go and get lucky and get 3 or 4 nano fusion stats inside here, yeah, I'd probably be spanking motherfuckers across the screen. If I was to be getting god rolls on bonus stats inside here, where I was getting attack and crit damage and crit rate, similar to like how this one came out right here, like you can see I basically have the stat on here for crit damage, crit rate, and defense pierce, then I'd probably be able to keep up. But that's the problem, is like the way they built the characters kinds of takes the character into the degree of potential, meaning like where that character could potentially be if you were just far out ahead of everybody. Where it is right now, that's just not where the character sits, and it's kind of weird that they don't see that most players are just not going to be able to be there. So it's really weird. It's one of those weird things. The problem with this Mystic Arts class build is that you're relying on one illusion magic class skill in order to decrease the cooldown timers on everything else, and that is a bit of a bottleneck. But they also have some really high stamina costs, so you're really dealing with the bottleneck from the stamina as well, because even if you get the cooldown timers right, you don't have the time to basically cast these because you're still in wait. But it is the highest damage dealing abilities that you have for Doctor Strange, so you have to you're giving a lot away in order to play Doctor Strange. That's the truth of the matter. Unless you just get really lucky on costumes, and you get really lucky on Omega cards, and you get really lucky on badges. Because a lot of people don't seem to understand that because other characters like Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Black Widow and Captain Marvel have defense pierce as innate exclusive stats, they have crit rate as an innate exclusive stats, that they have the ability then when they are rolling for stats on costumes and battle badges, that they can play around with those things. Like, you know what I mean? Like they have more variability. Doctor Strange doesn't have a lot of variability on his. Like, I need to increase my defense pierce. So like in terms of this, I'm going to reduce my attack value because I'm basically looking for every single battle badge I get to basically be green and red. I need every single battle badge to basically come with defense, pierce, and attack. So that way I can then, accelerate his growth inside here. Because without it being a defense, pierce, like for instance, this is a dead badge to me at this point, because while it was critical rate and attack, I got status effect accuracy. Well, they gave Doctor Strange status effect accuracy, but he doesn't have any skills. He doesn't have any skills that you're using for status effect accuracy. So it's just weird. All right, hold on one second, guys. I got to take a phone call real quick. I'm going to play Raid real quick. All right, sorry about that, guys. So essentially that's where we're basically rolling into that, right? Is that is essentially what you're dealing with the character, is that not having access to those things, and the poor design decision in terms of giving him status effect accuracy, it's questionable, right? It's really, really questionable. You're like, well, why the fuck did you do that? Like, what was the point of giving him status effect accuracy when bleed and confusion are the only skills that he really has in terms of applying a status effect to another character, and the skills that have those aren't really viable for you to really be like, yeah, I'm going to use them in the first place. So I think a lot of people are missing out on that fact when they look at the character overall, because that's the problem with Doctor Strange, is that he's a poorly designed character in terms of him being an attacker, period. He's basically 100% in support role. So like, you have to go into that knowing that if you're playing Doctor Strange, unless you're making that investment that you have that you have deep purses, you have deep purse strings, that's essentially where you're going to end up with the character. Because I hate to say it, but it's the truth. You need some really, really deep purse strings in order for Doctor Strange to keep up. You're never going to do the damage that other characters are going to be able to do at their higher ends, even without money being spent. You're never going to do damage that they're able to do, and you're never going to be able to do the things that even other characters like Spider-Man, who started out the game pretty weak in terms of his damage numbers, are going to be able to do. It's just the reality of the character, you know what I mean? Like, I still love the character, I still like playing him, he still has his utility. It's up to them though to make modes where he is more viable than other characters, and unfortunately the only modes that he is viable in is dog water mode. So he excels in spec ops, because a lot of the times you are, especially like if it's War Machine Day inside Sakaar, the oppressed people day, as Hef called it. Well, no, that's not the oppressed people day, but if we're dealing with Sakaar, like we're on Sakaar when we do Spec Ops and we get War Machine, Doctor Strange will excel because you're dealing with ads at the same time as you're dealing with the boss. So your numbers can stack. Like if you were to jump inside the invasion mode and you failed on the Unimind, right? So you completely failed on the Unimind, which means that the other deviants along with Crow survive. Well, then you're also dealing with a good mode for Doctor Strange because ads are up at that time. So it actually benefits you in that way. But at any point it's coming down to single target DPS, like how this mode is right now, you're not going to excel. You're not going to excel. Don't look at me right now in terms of being like, oh yeah, I'm at the top numbers. I'm literally playing with a 103, 106, and a 103. I almost guarantee you these these are not top players. Like, you know, I lose in this mode to mid-tier players. Like if I'm being 100% legitly honest with you. Oh, I mistimed that one. Still survived though. Like typically damn dude, how you dying? Like what the fuck? Oh man, that it's the problem with Doctor Strange. And to be honest with you, his most fun variant to play, like 7S said, his most fun version of himself to play is the support role. Like I hate to say it, like going into Dark Zone and just saying, hey, I give up, I'm not gonna try to hit these, you know, the damage numbers, I'm not gonna try, like it is the most fun mode. Like now I want to point something out to you guys too, right? I want to show you guys me fail a fucking specialization inside here because I hate fucking playing raid because the specializations fail all the time. But I want to show you guys something because I think this is important for me to point out to you guys so that way it just doesn't sound like all shit, right? I am in one of the top alliances, like literally in terms of ranking. Let me pull this up so that way you guys can see, so that way you know I'm not just talking from my ass. The East Coast server is probably one of the most heavy centric servers, and X-Force is still one of the top alliances there. Wow, look at motherfucking Sigma and Olympian gods catching up. X-Force is still one of the most top servers, and in terms of like the player base inside the alliance, I'm really thankful for these guys. They're a lot of fun to play around with, but like there's not a but to that. So if you go inside the alliance members, you'll notice that there's some really top level people in here to play with. You know, besides JS504, Magaluma, Miss Hadari, Newfan, Wolverthor, MFR, Tony Wins, Busy. These are some of like 50 GNR. These are Halfson. These are some of the guys you will Kraken will consistently see in the top pool of players. Like if you were to go and basically look at the rankings for the elite rankings and stuff like that, the majority of these players are legitimately from X-Force. Like they're literally from X-Force. And I can tell you right now that even with the top, you know, we jump inside DZ, and on most prime target runs, on most of those runs inside there, I am typically somewhere between 8 and 10 with my build. Now, I am in the top 10 for Doctor Strange builds. Like I'm still sitting at number 6, and I don't even have a really good build if I'm being perfectly honest. Like I've got no nanos. So like if I was to look at Super Daniel, who is right above me, he's got 3 nanos on his, and he's been way luckier with his cards than I have. Like you can see some of his cards that his battle badges that he has, way luckier. You can even look at his specializations to see what he's playing with inside here. Very similar, except that he has a decreased damage received. His Omega cards, he is playing with somewhat similar card decks that I am. Cooldown decrease, PvP damage increase, PvP damage increase, and then his Star Lord. Yeah, so he's got pretty similar card rolls as I do. So, and he's just right above me. So like this is the truth of the character. Like try this build out. If you like Doctor Strange and you are a fan of the Doctor Strange character and you're willing to mitigate some of this stuff. Oh wait, did I unlock a new companion? Yes, I did. Which one did I get? Who's this dude? Gary Club. Man, fuck you, dude. Well, at least he's giving me some stamina recovery. So we're at 174. Let's see how much he's increasing. Shouldn't be that much. Oh, he gave me 321, so I'm at 175 thanks to that dude now. Likes to see it, guys. You see, like, just slow burn grind. You can also see some of my companions. Hearing that from hearing the information about companions from Godslave is a little concerning, because that speaks to even poor design and implementation and understanding of what you're doing in a game by having these characters, basically 4 of these characters accounting for nearly 500,000 in points. That's pretty bad. I think that's pretty terrible. So it's really weird, but yeah, I don't know. That's pretty terrible. So like, it's one of those things that like they're not going to fix it. They're not going to adjust it. And it's just going to be what it is. And it's just going to increase the gap in terms of, you know, the player base and players being able to catch up. That's essentially what it's going to do. So it's kind of sad to see that. But if you are excited about playing Doctor Strange, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to you guys he is still fun to play. Like, he is understanding his role within the game is part and parcel to understanding it. I find this build where he's legitimately using his Touch of Ashanti skills to be his most fun build. I think that this build has the most potential for gameplay. I really do. I think that it has the most potential. And that's because when I look at the stat difference from using the Touch of Ashanti build, the support build, to compare to his Mystic Arts build, and I use this in the videos that I'm gonna push this weekend. That basically, like with the Touch of Ashanti build, I'm basically doing about 9,000 damage inside a blitz run, whereas opposed to I'm doing about 15,000 with the Mystic Arts build and probably about 11 to 12,000 with the Illusion Magic build. And that's across blitz. But I find myself kind of pedaling around the area a lot and just kind of letting the character play. This one has the most amount of fun. And I forgot to mention this, but there's one skill that you could remove, and that's going to be his mirror dimension, to recover his guard gauge. You can substitute this skill if you want, because if you have a reliable team and you have a good Captain America, you don't really need it. You know what I mean? Like, you can mitigate that. I would switch out to Orb of Agamotto. And that one is basically summoning an orb that does 133.7% of Doctor Strange attacks. So it's really cool because the skill itself does no damage, but it like literally takes his damage to the max and then overfills it. So you could potentially get the most amount of damage from the Eye of Agamotto. And the really cool thing is that it basically counts for another Touch of Ashanti skill anyways. So switching it out for that is pretty good. That was still, all of those will give you reasons to have the Touch of Ashanti 3, so that way you can use this skill in the precursor. And basically what you'll be trying to do is outrun. But the problem with Doctor Strange overall is that you are going to have the mindset that you are going to give up on the notion that you are going to be the very top tier PvP player in the game, because looking at his hero build in terms of like his overall skills, you can get to a place where certain stats are going to be relatively high for you. And the main one that you're going to be looking for is the cooldown decrease. In order for you to hit that cooldown decrease, you're going to suffer a little bit, because you're going to be losing about 25% in terms of attack. And so that way you don't suffer the cooldown penalties of the destroyer, the will of the destroyer. And you're basically going to headhunt at that point to get your cooldown decrease as high as you can, So meaning literally chase cooldown decrease at all costs. So having the stat modifiers from PvP damage increase and stuff like that, negate that shit. Just leave that shit behind. Forget about it. Go cooldown decrease. Go defense pierce. So you're going to try your hardest to get to those skills, and then you're going to go crit rate and crit damage. Those should be the 4 skills if you're going to play this build that you really want to focus on. And the reason why I say those 4 skills is because the cooldown is basically going to bring down all those timers on all those skills. And if you can max out your cooldown decrease at 75%, that means you have a whole lot of uptime. And basically what you're going to rely on by trying to, you're only now having to really hunt one skill, right? Because I don't really have to hunt crit rate, and I don't really have to hunt crit damage, so to speak, right? I can get those skills naturally, but I have to hunt down defense pierce, because if I can max those out where I can say I got my cooldown, I got my defense pierce, that means every time that I'm able to cast one of those skills, I'm maximizing the potential for damage to be done. And that means that if I can uprate up my crit rate and crit damage, especially with some of the skills that Doctor Strange has, like Tile of Mandalas and the Ring of Repulsion, I should have the max potential that those skills will crit and land the most amount of crit damage as possible. That is the build that I'm working towards right now. That's where I'm working towards right now. Yeah, so I told King, he's got a build for his Storm, and I'd like for him to join me on a chat so that way we can discuss some of the Storm stuff. The fucked up part about this game is legitimately that it's kind of hard to bring you guys content on varying characters, because you pretty much have to specialize into one character specifically. So it's like really, really tough to, you know, say that. So let's run this raid. I think I got one more raid, because I want to show you me fail on a specialization. That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to do. I don't know if I actually have the numbers for it. 9, 7 out of 15. Where's the other one at? I probably can't then, because I'm failing on it anyways. Yeah, I'm too far away to actually show you fail. So I want to point this out to you guys. Like, this skill alone right here, I have failed on this skill. I counted it up. I started counting my failure rates on these skills. I failed this skill 27 times since I started counting it. Not gonna lie to you guys. Even a skill like this one over here, where I basically was trying to decrease the cooldown time of illusion magic class, I failed this skill 15 times so far. This one I was able to berserk through for some reason. I got it automatically. It was really, really weird, especially now that I'm looking at the build that I probably plan on playing and or working towards, and I know that's gonna be like, it's weird. Like, I don't like, because I know like I have nothing invested on these, and so I know that I'm going to end up having to use the increased max cooldown decrease, because this is another good thing. I think this skill hits like a max of 20% or 25%, I think it is. And so like basically if you're able to hit the cooldown decrease time for 75%, this will take you over that cap to about 100% cooldown, which is going to be pretty ridiculous in terms of your skill up times, because then all you're really worried about is not the cooldown times, but you're just worried about the stamina at that point. Unfortunately, stamina recovery is going to be one of those fucking really weird things in terms of like, it's not going to work. Stamina recovery is just trash. So we're gonna have to work on that and see, but I'm working towards that build. It's just taking me a lot mentally to go inside my head and be like, yeah, I give up on PvP altogether. I'm just gonna get what I get and deal with that. I don't know. It's weird, but I am going to commit to it. Matter of fact, to show you guys, after I finish running this raid, because I got to finish up the stream anyways. Yeah, I got to finish up the stream anyways, because I got to go teach. I got to go teach classes tonight for jiu-jitsu and for Muay Thai. I'm gonna re-roll one of my cards. I've got about 7,000 gold, so I'm gonna try to re-roll one of my cards for cooldown, just so that way you guys know that I am committing to it. Yeah, so let's see how much money I have to spend to re-roll a card for that. Oh shit,
I got the wrong build up. So you can see that defense Pierce click in over there, and you can see Doctor Strange. Basically, that's the cooldown time for the skill, right? None of these characters that I'm playing with are good. These guys are good. All right, let's get the fuck out of that. So essentially with this Touch of Ashanti's class skill, what you're basically looking at doing is still the same thing here. You're going to try to utilize, so like, let me take this off. You're basically going to try to utilize his mystic art skills, basically Tower of Mandalas, casting those out, and then use like a Ring of, oh shit. Then use Ring of Repulsion, so that way you're just rolling through on those skills. Oh wait, I'm playing the wrong one. Never mind what the fuck I just said. Excuse me. Yeah, you're going to cast your defense Pierce, and then you're going to roll into Tower of Mandalas. Then you're going to roll into Ring of Repulsion. Follow that up with your cooldown time, so that way you bring down the cooldown on your skills overall, and then you can roll back into them. That's how you want to play the character class. Like, my bad, I totally fucked that up in my head. So yeah, so if you're playing this class and you are able to get the stats that you're looking for, that's essentially what you want to do. Stack up your defense Pierce, roll into your Tower of Mandalas, roll into your Ring of Repulsion, and then follow that up finally with your cooldown decrease timers, and then work into your recover your guard gauge and stuff like that, and just rinse and repeat on that one. Rinse and repeat on that one. And that should be essentially how you're playing that class skill. So if you need to put them in order, it's weird because I see a lot of videos of guys creating builds, and I go, oh, this is what the order is supposed to look like, right? It's like they put them in 1 2 3 4 5. But so let me go back into that real quick, so that way you guys can see how that class essentially plays. And I guarantee you're gonna have a lot of fun playing that build, because you're going to be supporting other players. It's probably the more effective build non-PvP that you could potentially have in the game, at least from my perspective anyways, right? So let's go back in here before I re-roll this card. And so basically with this build, remember what you're looking to do is increase your defense Pierce. It lasts for 10 seconds, so that should give you time to roll from your Touch of Ashanti Soul Enhance right into your Ring of Repulsion. I would go for Ring of Repulsion first, because that one's going to do 1663% damage. So none of these skills have really high guard break on them, so that's unfortunately the problem, right? And then I would roll from that skill into your Eldritch Sword, Tal Mandalas, right? So that way you're basically looking at 24, right? 24 stamina. Then you're rolling into 24, 35. So you're at about 59, and then you're working into require stamina right here. So this is not going to hit you at the max cap, but you're basically going to be at that cap. And you should be rebuilding your stamina at that point, because the Book of Ashanti has a really low cooldown, low required stamina cost in there. So you should be able to roll directly in there. And you're basically going to be using Shield of Mirage as basically a way of saving yourself. But again, I'm going to point out to you guys that if you're using this build and you want to work into the more damage class, switch out Shield of Mirage and put in Eye of Agamotto, because you'll notice that they have pretty much similar cooldown times and similar stamina cost. So you can switch out to Eye of Agamotto. It's a Touch of Ashanti class skill, so it's also good. I'm going to say that potentially for me, this is probably going to be the best one that you could use. Skill CDR is capped at 50%, yo. Is it though? Is it? Hold on, let me pull this up. So if you look at skill cooldown, your cooldown decrease time, oh wow, it is capped at 50%. Wow, my man, you are 100% right. You are 100% right. That's fucking crazy. Let me see where my cooldown time is actually then. Ooh, why did I think it was 75%? I'm nearly at max cap here. Nearly at fucking max cap for cooldown decrease. That's fucking nuts. Okay, so basically you can only get up to 75% then. So you can get up to 75% for your cooldown time. So 3/4 of it. So you can't hit 100 max, but that's where you're basically looking at is that. So I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna re-roll card because to be honest with you, I really don't care about PvP. I can't tell you the last time that I've actually worked towards like in dimension duels. You can see I'm in platinum too. I can't tell you, like, just so you guys are aware, the highest I have gotten inside of dimension duels was literally master 3, and I just stopped because I just didn't really care, to be honest with you. And so literally I can't tell you the last time I've even worked my way out of platinum. Like, I've just, yeah, to be honest with you, I enjoy playing Dark Zone. I enjoy playing the invasion modes. I enjoy those modes, but now they didn't really think him out. It doesn't seem to me like they thought him out in terms of how the character was built. Like, it's like similar to like Captain Marvel, for instance, right? Where like all her skills happen on the back end, meaning like she feels really weak in the beginning, and then as you build her up in the end, her skills start to shine. It's weird. Like, Doctor Strange feels like he's not even at that level. Like, he feels like he kind of falls off. I don't know. He's a weird character. It's not that he's not fun. It's not that there's not workarounds for the character. It's not that I can't see the character essentially hitting some really, really high levels. The problem is that for him to hit those high levels, you're gonna have to get really fucking lucky. So let's see. So I have cooldown decrease on this card. I have cooldown decrease on this one, and cooldown decrease on that one. So that's odd. So all 3 of these cards have cooldown decrease. I don't want to take it off this one because this one's a PvP damage increase and a PvP damage, so I might as well leave it on that one. And then this one has defense, pierce, dodge rate, and PvP, so I don't want to take it off of that one. Let's see. So Captain America. All right. So this one I'm gonna unequip this one right here for Cap right here. So this is something that, you know, this is something that you also need to be aware of when you're playing with your cards and stuff like that. The mechanics is that there's cards inside here that are generated towards PvP. So for instance, like, you know, Captain Marvel is a PvP card. That's just what she is. She is a PvP card. So like, if I was to look at this, I could potentially, where the fuck is my Storm card? Am I blind? Am I going blind? I feel like I'm going fucking blind right now. I don't see my Storm card in here. All right. I'm getting a little concerned. I hope I didn't fucking re-roll a card by accident. So let's go squad, card storage. Okay, there she goes. Whoo, whoo, whoo. Okay, so like you can even see on the Storm card, she basically deals PvP damage, and she has a PvP damage increase, decrease on her as well. So like re-rolling that stat off of her so that way I don't have a PvP damage doesn't necessarily make sense because she is a PvP card. So yeah, I found it inside my card storage, thank God. I was getting real fucking nervous there. So we'll store this card and we'll switch over to Cap real quick. I was getting real nervous. I was like, yo, where the fuck my card go? So like, for instance, of those cards, when you talk about that too, it's going to really matter a lot because the cards that you really want to try to grab from there so that way you can mitigate some of the attack stat numbers that you are having is I'm gonna point this out for you guys after I retrieve these cards, just in case I get lucky on that one. Is in your easier for me to just go look at it inside the shop. So like you have this Dark Domain card inside here, and it's dealing supervillain damage decrease. So this is going to be a good card. The only problem is that it's dealing with supervillain damage decrease. I would much prefer this stat had just been attack or something like that, right? It'd be really freaking awesome for that. But if you're going to commit to the fact that you are going to basically be like, hey, I want these cards specifically, or I want to go PvE specifically, then the 2 cards that you're really going to be looking for and headhunting for is these 2 cards. Black Widow and Spider-Man. And I want to make sure that you guys are aware about that, because it's basically the card set that you're going to be looking for if this is the route that you're going, where you say, I'm not going to care about PvP damage anymore, because that's not going to be the area where my Doctor Strange is going to excel at this point. But if you wanted to still play PvP, these cards will still help you mitigate some stuff, because the Dark Zone number 4 set essentially comes with PvP. It comes with PvP damage increase, comes with defense, pierce, and an attack stat value on there. So, and I want to show you that card set as well. And the really good thing is that if you look at this card in general, it's going to boost your crit damage, right? So that's really good. And then on the Spider-Man card, this one's going to increase your attack. So equipping those 2 cards overall is going to help out your character a lot. And then when you start to look at how they're going to facilitate what stats you get on them, and you're then rolling cooldown decrease times on those as well, you're going to probably look pretty good overall in terms of that. So I would say those are the cards that you want to shoot for the most, because if you look at the Dark Zone number 5 set, let's go back in here, Omega cards, card sets, and you look at the Dark Zone number 5, or number 4 rather, excuse me. So that one has attack on it. This one has critical damage on it. And then you look at these cards, they're fairly fucking common cards for you to get. Like the Kingpin one has guard damage, going to be really great, right? And then the crit rate on the Captain America set. Ares has max damage rate, and then I think this was the only one that I was like, trash. And this one is your ultimate gauge recovery. So you don't necessarily need to go for the PvP damage increase, but you could basically go for those 2 cards and essentially equip any one of the other 3. I'd probably go with the max damage rate, and I'd probably go with the crit rate, and I'd equip these 4 cards along with 2 other cards inside here. Which 2 is a really weird question in terms of that, but yeah, I would probably go with Star-Lord and Iron. I hate to go with Star-Lord and Iron Man, because that defense stat is just going to be really trash for you. But Star-Lord is a good card because he has an attack stat on there, and that's a simple number that he's given. And then I typically like the Captain America. So that would be the set that I would equip if I was overall going for that, right? Yeah, so if you're a free-to-play player, you're still just limited, Larry, by, you know, I hate to say this, but if you're a free-to-play player and you can't get any of the gold cards, no matter what you do inside this game, you're pretty much looking at Hydra Empire, Xandurf, and Midgardia as your roles. That's essentially what you're looking for. Like, I would immediately go with one of these 2 sets, some amalgamation of it, and it really probably be Hydra Empire and Midgardia, so that way I get attack, crit rate, and crit damage. Like, the hope is that even as a free-to-play player, they give you enough well, I won't say they give you enough, but they give out quite a few, like if you go in your storage, they give you quite a few of these kind of card draws a month that you at some point hopefully will get lucky and you'll roll a gold card. I mean, I hate to say that, but you know, that's essentially what you're looking for. And that's the problem with a character like Doctor Strange, and that's the point, is that in order for him to become this viable contender in a lot of these aspects, you're 100% looking at, you have to invest dollars. So like, that's the reason why I showed you. Yeah, so Hef has a special card, and he just the Storm card that he said he has. So you're essentially looking at that. Like, that was the whole reason why Godslave came in here, dropped by, and was like, hey, you know, this dude basically made his he made his fucking Captain America is sitting 60-0 in Dimension Duels. But that's because he invested, you know, I can only imagine the amount of money he has. He has 8,000 to 6,000 Omega points inside there. So the amount of investment that he had to go for that is ridiculous. But if you pay enough inside this game, then every character is viable. It doesn't make a difference. Every single character would be viable in this game. Every single one of them. If I paid enough, I could make my Doctor Strange probably the top character in the game. But unfortunately, I don't have that ability. So we're gonna try to roll this one for Doctor Strange for cooldown decrease. I don't have the most funds in terms of that, but we'll see what we can get. So let's select Captain America. It's gonna transmute, and then we can see what the target list is here. And this target list is part and parcel to the problem. Cooldown decreases basically what we're gonna be looking for, and let's pray to God that I don't get any of these other stats. I'm going to guarantee you they're going to come out with a method, so that way you are going to 100% be able to pay crystals or something like that for you're going to be able to pay crystals for re-rolling this. So that way you can just guarantee yourself the stat. So Captain Marvel, ugh. And I wish they would change this, because this is annoying as hell that I have to reselect this shit every single time to try to re-roll it. I mean, I guess I can see the benefit of it, because you don't want to fuck up and re-roll a stat that you potentially got. But oh, look at that Black Widow defensive pierce. Imagine that. You get max damage rate, dodge rate, defense pierce, and attack on a motherfucking card. And then the attack stat is sitting there. Doesn't make sense of why a character's just like my dude is just sitting in the back seat over there. Like, think about that stat. That's ridiculous. That'd be a god rolled car right there for that would have been a god roll car for what you call it. Even like, look at this shit. So for max damage rate, dodge rate, defense, pierce, and attack all on one car for 2. Yeah, there are some. I agree with you on that one, Anya. If you're trying to make, like, for instance, I think it's weird to try to consider that, like, because when you think about that and you would have put it in, that's a good point you bring up, Anya. I hope I'm saying your name right. I hope I'm not fucking that up. But you bring up a good point there. I saw that you just got that re-roll on that fucking Spider-Man card. That was a pretty goddamn good roll there. Oh my god, that's a terrible one right there. Shock damage. Ugh. But you got that roll on that. Are you switching over to Spider-Man Godslave? I can't imagine you playing another character other than Iron Man. But Kraken switched over to Spider-Man as well, so god damn it, come on. I feel like I'm about to get got for this. I feel like I'm gonna get this is just gonna be bad. How much do you think I'm gonna have to spend to get to a cooldown decrease for Doctor Strange? I get, like, that's a shitty thing about it. You think about that. I am literally rolling for a cooldown decrease on Doctor Strange. He's nowhere near ready for PvP. Have you even touched any of his? So I was looking at that Godslave because when Kraken re-rolled for his Spider-Man, where's your potential and your spec at, like your specialization, your potential, your specialization? Because that was the thing that I was going to re-roll for Iron Man, and then I was like, yo, I think I've spent like money on my Doctor Strange to get his potential where it is. And I was like, fuck that noise. I'm not re-rolling. God, come on, give me the cooldown. Fucking hell, I haven't even touched Doctor Strange yet. Fucking hell. I can't believe this shit. I haven't even seen a Doctor Strange roll yet. Oh, I want to cry. That's a reroll of the same fucking stat you already gave me. PvP damage increase. 2 to 3 months for you to finish your Spidey. You shouldn't really have to collect blue dodge cores heft for your Spidey. Like, to be honest with you, that should be the last thing that you're putting on your Spider-Man is blue dodge cores. Because if you're able to get like, is this gold spin hurting your soul? It's hurting mine, trust me. Especially going past fucking defensive Pierce on fucking characters. Oh my god. Hey, I want to show you guys I'm committed to the game, bro. I'm committed. I'm in on this shit. I'm going to switch my Doctor Strange over. Wow, air surface damage back to back. This is terrible. Yeah, having yeah, that is weird because specialization is the one thing that you can't do anything about. You literally have to just play the game for that one. I mean, you can accelerate it some, but only having 3 runs per day, yeah, you're not gonna really, because 3 runs per day, you're only getting 2 to 3 radiant cores, and you need 15 to hit those max cap levels. Yeah, I get what you're saying. That's gonna take that. Yeah, that is gonna take a minute. That shit sucks when you think about it. Like, re-rolling a character in this game is literally that daunting, even with them adding in the transmutation and the transmutation and stuff inside there. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm still dealing with the same trashy ass fucking RNG on mine. Like, I've got one of my stats literally at 10 out of 10, and it's just terrible. Oh, this would be a good roll for Spider-Man. Total damage. Yeah, heft. You don't need you shouldn't need dodge cores on Spider-Man, because the 105 the 105 blitz badges have they have dodge as the set stat on there. Spider-Man also has access to dodge innately, so hitting that cap should be pretty easy for you without having to equip dodge cores on there. So I wouldn't, that's not where you should be going. Oh, flame damage, Jesus Christ. So Anya already said tap. Anya was like, yo, stop it. Don't do it. He's like, don't stop the madness. Ugh. Why do I have to click so many goddamn times is the problem. Ugh, this is hurting my soul. This is killing me. I'm not gonna have enough gold to purchase everything in store. Oh my fucking god. I've literally seen Doctor Strange twice now. That's it. Twice he's come up in almost 2 million. And Jesus Christ. Oh, that'd be a good one. Like, if I were you, I'd be looking at defensive Pierce cores on Spidey. He has the innate ability to get defense Pierce on some of his costumes, so I'd be looking at those most likely instead. But Godslave could probably tell you better than I could in terms of building towards that character. I don't know who's the number 1 Spidey overall right now. I have to look that one up. Oh, look at that shit. Defense Pierce on for Iron Man. Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on, guys. That's the fucked up thing. This is terrible RNG. That's the fucked up thing about, like, literally for Doctor Strange, is that if you really look at Doctor Strange, right, and we go like so, unlock this shit, why do they got so many layers, and you go for Doctor Strange and you look at his stats, knowing that he's already bad inside PvP makes you not want to have these. So you literally are already operating underneath the power curve because his ultimate skill is terrible. So this is a bad stat in general for him there. And then you have air to surface damage. So realistically, on his cards, knowing the way the character plays and how he presents, you really only have one option, and that's cooldown decrease. That's it. Like, if you really want to be honest about it, that's what you have. Like, this is hurting my soul. I didn't, you know what the fucked up part about this is? I didn't come up with a predetermined amount in my head that I was going to be like, I got to stop now. I didn't come up with a predetermined amount of gold that I was going to be like, yeah. All right, so we had Anya tell me to stop. Oh my fucking God. Air to surface damage. Oh, this is killing me. This is killing me. Jesus Christ. All right. Anvi told me to stop. Surface to air damage. Let's see who else tells me to stop. This is bad RNG, bro. Oh man, seeing those defense Pierce comes up for like Iron Man. It's come up for Iron Man, it's come up for Spider-Man, and it's come up for Captain Marvel. It's just really hurting me. The fucked up thing is I can't really go for this card because this card overall isn't going to really help me out very much because it's got PvP damage decrease. So it's still putting me within the PvP arena. And then this one has total damage. That's the only helpful stat overall across there. The super villain damage decrease is probably going to be good if you were playing Invasion, but I've kind of slacked off on the Invasion a little bit. I haven't even done any kind of pressure runs. I haven't really tried to hit anything. I've been playing around with Doctor Strange's build so much and trying to give you guys content for that one to help you guys understand that stuff. Oh, come on. This is hurting my soul. Okay, I think I'm going to stop at 2.5 million. If I don't get it by 2.5, I think I'm going to stop. Yeah, let's see if I get it. Let's see if I get it by there. All right, Dave says go down to 3 million and then stop. This is hurting my soul. Fucking L. And it takes like, why did like I want to point out something to you guys too. This should let you know how poorly they designed this game. In order for me to run through this transmutation, I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks to get to the process in which I want. I don't know how many of you guys are developers. Another defense Pierce for Iron Man. This is ridiculous. I don't know how many of you guys are developers, but that's pretty terrible. Like, you don't want to have people drilling down on content that far. Like, it's not worth it. Let's see if I can get back to at least a Doctor Strange stat in the next 500,000. Oh, defensive Pierce for Spider-Man. All right, we got 2 more we can do. Let's see if we get lucky. 2 more. Defense Pierce for Black Widow. It sucks to see those stats come up and you're re-rolling those. It just sucks. All right. Ugh. And the last one. All right, that's it. So we basically got a dead card that I got to equip to the character now. It is what it is. You know, I took that L. Yeah, I took that L, Larry. I took that L hard. It is what it is. That hurt. The only thing that sucks about it, so just be honest with you guys, if you're playing all the game modes, generally in a week, it's not that hard to generate a lot of gold. Like you can overnight, if you were to let the game run, you can probably generate somewhere between 200 I would say probably like 200,000 gold, but you know, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but it is what it is, guys. I'm not that pissed off about it. I need to do it. like I said, so this is where we're hunting for right now on for our character. Let me put this card back in here. Card storage. Unlock that card. Store that bitch. So, what we're looking at doing, and I'll finish out with explaining this for you guys that joined or wasn't here. What we're looking at doing is we're literally looking at trying to hit the max cap for cooldown on Doctor Strange. Having the max cap on him will help alleviate and mitigate your need to be using illusion magic class skills in order to reduce cooldown times on your characters. So we're essentially what we're going to be doing in terms of this, like if you were realistically to look at it, and I want you guys to understand something about the way skills work as well. I didn't really point this out, but basically because of what Anya said, for instance, right now my character info where I'm standing right now, I want to point this out so that way you guys understand this, because it's about topping off the T or whatever, right? So if you were to look at my character's cooldown decrease right now, it's sat at 41.8%, right? So at 41.8%, I'm actually sitting very pretty in terms of the character overall. And that's because the cooldown decrease, I don't know why I thought it was 75%. I don't know why I thought it was 75%, but it's because the cooldown decrease is literally capped at 50% with the max cooldown decrease specialization that Doctor Strange has. That's basically going to take him to 75% total cooldown decrease, right? So essentially what this means is that by equipping the skill, the lesson of wisdom right here, right? So by equipping this skill, it basically accounts for decreasing the cooldown by 30% for 10 seconds. So I'm already going to be capped out if you think about it in terms of that, right? Because I can't go above the max cooldown of 50%, so I can only be capped out at that cooldown. It's increasing it by decreasing by 28.5, unless they have it playing out differently inside here, where like, you know, somehow this cooldown works with the other cooldowns, where, you know, basically being at 50 or 75% of the max is going to reduce the cooldown in general, and then when I'm casting this skill, it acts as a different skill. So we'll see how it works out, because that was the weird thing that we all figured out from the specialization, right? Was that this skill right here didn't really help you out any, because utilizing it in the beginning and you weren't at the max cooldown, it didn't make a difference, because you had to be at the max cooldown already for this to actually cap out on here. So we're going to work towards this. Unfortunately, we didn't get that roll. That hurt my soul. I'm not even gonna pretend. Like I'm hurting. Like I'm hurting. Definitely hurting from seeing that 7 million go down to 2.5. But I don't have very much to spend gold on anyways at this point, so it is what it is at this point. That's essentially what it is. But that hit right there from not having that PvP damage increase, yeah, that sucks. It does. But it is what it is. I'm not too concerned about it. 15,000 points is gonna, you know, make or break anything in this game, which is the reason why I didn't re-roll all of these, because essentially I don't want to re-roll. You know, Captain Marvel doesn't need to be re-rolled. It's not gonna really help me out any. So yeah, these are the cards overall of all the special cards that you're looking for. The two cards mostly that you don't want at this point would be this Captain Marvel and the Storm card, because those are going to affect PvP. So you really don't need those cards. What you really need is the two cards plus Star-Lord and Captain America. You could go with these two, but realistically, yeah, you could keep the Doctor Strange card for the cooldown decrease stat, but most likely you won't need it. So it is what it is. Well, guys, I got to get the fuck out of here and go teach some martial arts to some people. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit these goddamn numbers. Godslave is sitting at literally, matter of fact, let's pull this shit up real quick, because I want to see this. Let's see. Hold on one sec, because I'm gonna roast my peeps. I was trying to make sure I didn't have any porn up. Oh, where's Godslave? Yo, dudes, Hot Slave is literally sitting at 9,000 fucking subscribers. Like literally. Come on, dudes. Hit that subscribe button. Help me hit this mark by the end of the year. I'm trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. So that way I can bring you guys more content and keep bringing you content and not having to pull out of my goddamn pocket, which makes it hard as hell. So help me hit that mark. Until next time, guys, I am going to stream this weekend. So I've been having a lot of fun with Marvel's Avengers. You guys don't seem really that interested in it. I think it's a better game than Marvel Future Revolution and Marvel Future Fight, in my opinion, but that's completely up to you guys to determine. But I am going to stream. I haven't showed you guys this, right? And I'm losing out on a lot of power level because I haven't maxed out my Star-Lord yet. So I need to finish out my Star-Lord. So I probably will be streaming either tomorrow or Sunday. I'm going to probably put up a notice probably like an hour before so that way you guys can see it. But I need to finish out the stream for Star-Lord and get him to level 100. So look forward to that this weekend, guys. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Love all the support. Until next time, guys. Peace.